Good evening. My name is Candace Young, and welcome to Opera and Yoga at Home. I am a member of the Center Stage Board Associates, a dynamic group of young professionals committed to introducing new audiences to opera in Cincinnati. We are thrilled that you have chosen to connect with us tonight and hope you enjoy the wonderful music and yoga practice we've put together for you this evening. I think we can all say this has been a tough year, and I know I have been especially missing the arts and my yoga practice. If you enjoyed tonight's class, we invite you to like our Center Stage Board Associates Facebook page or follow us on Instagram for more fun and innovative programming. We also want to remind you that the 2021 Cincinnati Opera season will take place outside al fresco at Summit Park in Blue Ash this July. Enjoy Carmen, the Barber of Seville, and my personal favorite, Tosca. I just love the drama. Stay tuned for when tickets become available. I would also like to take a moment to thank our partner, Findlay Yoga, who's been tremendously helpful in making this event come together. In addition, special thanks to our sponsors, LPK and UC Health, for all they do to support the Cincinnati Opera. Tonight, you will enjoy baritone Simon Barrad as he sings O du mine, Mine Zenye, and De Viene alla Finestra. He'll be accompanied by Kseniia Polstiankina Barrad on piano, his wife. I'll now hand it off to my dear friend and yogi, Suzie Nagy, to guide us through this meditative practice.
All right. Thank you so much, Candace. And as she said, I'm Suzie Nagy, and I'm excited to be here with you all this evening. So just first things first, if you have anything at home that you'd like to bring with you to make the practice a little bit more comfortable, whether that's a bolster or pillow, or if you have a blanket or thick towels or anything like that that might make your seat more comfortable, or a block, you're welcome to grab those now. And I'll push mine out of the way. I'll be doing them without this evening. But with that in mind, that just letting you know that everything that I present today is just an offering. So you have the benefit, especially being at home, that you get to make this practice whatever you want it to be. So whether you're doing something completely different than what I'm guiding you through, or whether you're following along, it's all your interpretation of it. So I invite you to be playful and feel it out for yourself. And if you want to make it a more advanced and active practice, you can always add in vinyasas, or if you want to make it more meditative and be in stillness, you're even welcome to be seated or lying down the entire length to make it your own. And of course, listening to your body. If something that I offer doesn't feel great, you can come out of things earlier or whenever you need to, or just change it up. So today, just to give you a little bit of information to orient you first to how it'll go. This will be a gentle flowing practice, a little bit more meditative. And when I was first doing my yoga trainings, one of the things that they taught us was that the moving meditation of the yoga is all to create the opportunity for comfort in your seat or stillness and meditation at the end. And so through the movement today, I'll be bringing you into a position to rest in as we listen to each aria, so that we're opening ourselves up more and more before each time we get to sit and really feel the resonance of the music. One of the most beautiful things I think about opera is that even if it's in another language, you still are able to feel the emotion and the story of what's being sung. So as you're in each of those postures, even noticing what might come up in your visualizations, how you're feeling things, where in the body you're feeling things, and just keeping yourself really open to receive and curious to what that experience might be for you. So we'll start today on our backs. So I'm going to scooch to a mat that's a little further away. And if you want to lower all the way down, and then bringing the soles of the feet together like they were clapping, the knees open, And the hands on the belly. And if any point this gets uncomfortable for you, we'll eventually be bringing the feet wide out on the mat and the knees dropped in towards each other. So you can go there a little bit early whenever you'd like. You might even see me doing it a little earlier. So hands on the belly, the eyes can soften their gaze or close completely underneath the blankets of the eyelids. And just start to take some deep breaths in through the nose. And sigh them out through the mouth. Big audible breaths. Really letting go of your day, anything that you were thinking about or doing before this moment. Letting your mind clear as you're here. And just finding a natural breath in and out through the nose. And every inhale and every exhale gets a little bit longer and a little bit longer as you feel the belly rising and falling underneath the hands with every breath. And as you let go of the thinking mind, you're tuning in to more the sensations of the body. So noticing what might be a little bit more tense as you're unwinding from your day and gripping in the muscles. And just allowing yourself to sink into the support of the gravity pulling you down towards the support of the ground. Sending breath into any muscular tension. Noticing the natural rhythms of the body, the breath rising and falling, the beat of the heart and the chest, the circulation that goes from the very deepest parts of you all the way to the surfaces of the skin. And taking one more big breath here into the nose and out to the mouth. And start to bring the hands underneath the legs to draw them back together if you haven't already. The feet coming out to the edges of the mat, knees dropped in towards each other so that the backs of the hips open, the low back softens into the ground. And then the arms come out into a T, the palms up towards the ceiling, and start to windshield wiper the knees from side to side, looking over the opposite shoulder that the knees drop down to. So every exhale, they drop to one side. Every inhale, they come back up towards center. Rolling from it, one edge of the foot to the other. And feeling that oiling of the joints within the hip sockets. And start to hug the knees into the chest. Rock from side to side, massaging the back of the body, either side of the spine, the backs of the hips. And hug just the right knee into the chest. The left foot can either come down to the ground or you can straighten the leg all the way down as long as it doesn't hurt the low back. Begin to lift the legs straight up towards the ceiling. You can catch a bind with the hands behind the leg, up the leg, or even to the foot if you'd like. You're drawing it in gently towards the chest. So not forceful drawing back, but just finding your edge and breathing into the muscles. Bend back into the knee. Bring the right hand around the knee, the front of the knee, as the left hand comes to the top point of the hip of the left side. And start to bring the knee out to the right, opening up the leg, getting a stretch to the inside of the thigh. And bring the leg back through center. Switch the hand holding it. So the left hand wraps around the front of the knee. And you'll draw it all the way over to the left so that the right hip stacks over the left. The chest stays open towards the ceiling so you get a twist through the belly as you look over the right shoulder. Come back through center, straighten the leg back up towards the ceiling. The hands can come to the front of the hips. And you'll push out through the heel of the foot until the leg lowers all the way to the ground. Being slow and having control here. And once the leg is down, start to roll through the ankles. And then hug the left knee into the chest. Straighten the leg up towards the ceiling as you find your bind. Bend back into the knee. Left hand to the outside of the knee and draw it all the way over to the left. Again, the right hand is keeping the right hip anchored to the ground. Knee comes back up, right hand comes around the knee and guide it all the way over to the right, stacking the hips and then looking over the left shoulder. Allowing this gentle twist to wring out the organs a little bit, massaging the belly with the breath. Knee comes back through center. Lift the leg back up towards the ceiling, push out through the heel, lengthening the leg. Lowering it slowly down. Roll through the ankles. Hug the knees back into the chest. And you can either roll off to the side to come up into your seat, or you can rock up and down the length of the spine, like a rocking horse to come up into your seat. All right. Again, this is a place where if you want to prop yourself up on a blanket, a blocker, a bolster, you can. And you'll tilt yourself forwards and backwards through the hips until you eventually start to pour the hips forward and push your sits bones back, walking the hands out in front of you just until you find that edge. Breathing right into the center of any tension you might be feeling. As though the breath was a little balloon that was inflating to stretch the muscles from the inside out and then contracting to allow everything to soften and relax again on the exhale. One more breath here. And lock the hands back up. And as you inhale, start to circle the arms up high, meeting the palms together. So you exhale, bring the hands down through heart center. Inhale to hold. Exhale to press the palms forward, rounding through the spine and bringing the chin in towards the chest. As you inhale, lift the palms back up towards the ceiling. Exhale the arms down along the sides of the body. Interlace fingers behind the low back and roll the shoulders down. As you inhale, lift the heart. Exhale to bring the hands back to the legs. Take a deep breath here. Inhale, circle the arms. Exhale, twist to the left. Staying tall through the spine. The right hand on the left knee. And stretching just as much through the eyes as you are through the turning of the head, twisting the shoulders. Next, inhale, lift back up. Exhale to take it to the right. A few breaths here. And then we'll start to take it just one breath at a time. So every inhale coming up, every exhale twisting. One more round on each side. Back up through center. Down through heart center. Big breath. It's here where we'll start our first position to listen to the aria. So if you want to just find the most comfortable seat here, it doesn't mean the legs have to stay crossed the entire time. You can straighten one or both, or even lie back down if that's the most comfortable. But really tuning into all dimensions of how you're seated in your posture here. So on your vertical plane, feeling rooted through your seat and lifted all the way up through the crown of the head all at once, and then breathing into both sides of the body, the left and the right. And then resting on your sagittal plane back into the body, so the front of the body can be really open and soft to receive. And tying all of those together so you're in a fully inhabited space within your body. And then we'll go ahead with the first aria and let that just bathe you in the sound. And just taking a couple more moments to sit with that resonance. And then we'll press back into child's pose, and I'll move back to the other mat for this. So for child's pose, you can either have your knees open wide, about the width of the mat, or you can have them close together with the big toes touching towards each other. And you're going to sit your hips back as far as they can go towards the heels as the arms lengthen out in front of you. And then start to walk the hands and the arms all the way over to the left. Maybe even pushing the right hip out towards the right a little bit. So you get this big stretch to the side of the body. Breathing all of the breath into the right lung so that the right lung is helping to stretch the ribs on that side as though between every rib was a gill, like a fish gill that was being breathed into. And then taking it all the way over to the other side. Hands reach over to the right. Hip sinks over to the left and breathing into the left side body. And come back to your center. And come up into a tabletop position with the wrist directly underneath the shoulders, the palms flat, the fingers wide, and the knees directly underneath the hips. And as you inhale, you'll start to lift the gaze and soften the chest and the belly down as the sit bones lift up the back wall for cow pose. And as you exhale, you'll scoop the belly back towards the spine as the spine rounds towards the ceiling. The toes tucked under just to get an extra stretch of the feet, the chin towards the chest, and you're pressing the ground away from you through the hands. It's your cat pose. And so starting to go back and forth between the two, inhaling through cow, exhaling through cat, rolling up and down the length of the spine. And you can either continue through cow and cat like this, or if you wanted to add in a couple extra things, as you inhale, you can move through upward facing dog, pressing the tops of the feet into the ground, lifting yourself up out of your shoulders, chest moving forward. Exhaling to lift into downward facing dog, that upside down V shape, the hips lifting, ears between the arms. And inhaling to come back down onto the knees through cow. Exhale, cat. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. And this time, everybody meeting in downward facing dog. And start to walk the hands back towards the feet, taking as much bend in your knees as you need to get there until you're in a forward fold. And we'll take ragdoll from here. So your feet are hip width distance apart. You have a little softness and bend to your knees as much as you need, making sure not to lock them. Then you'll grab opposite elbows, or you can let the arms hang. And you can either stay still, just allowing gravity to continue to lengthen the spine, breathing between every vertebra. And the spine decompresses, it pulls out from the hips. Or you can have some movement in this if you want to sway forwards and backwards, side to side, and shake the head, yes and no. Really allowing the head to be heavy like a bowling ball attached to the string of the spine so that the neck gets to rest here. It doesn't have to hold it up from this position.
And then take a deep bend to your knees and start to roll up the spine, one vertebra at a time. Your shoulders and your head will be the last to come up. And once they do, rolling the shoulders up towards the ears and down the back, the palms facing forward. Have that same soft bend to the knees and feeling full connection with your feet as though you could trace around every toe, every edge of the foot. Feeling yourself very open again. And this is where we're going to take our next pause to feel into the Arya. So whenever you're ready, finding your breath here, and we'll be starting.
O du mein holder Abendstern, wohl grüßt dich immer dich so gern. Vom Herzen, das sie nie verriet, grüße sie, wenn sie vorbei dir zieht. Wenn sie entschwebt im Tal der Erden, ein seliger Engel dort zu wählen. Wenn sie entschwebt dem Tal der Erden, ein seliger Engel dort zu wählen.
And gently opening the eyes if you had them closed. And as you inhale, circling the arms up overhead. Exhale, bow forward, pressing your seat back. Inhale to come up halfway with the flat back, reaching the crown of the head towards the horizon. Exhale, fold back forward. Inhale, circle the arms, meeting palms overhead. Exhale, bow back forward. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle. Exhale, bow. Inhale up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, circle the arms up high. This time, exhale the hands down through heart center. Bring the palms over the heart, connecting to the heartbeat, feeling that physical sensation underneath the hands, and take 2 big breaths here. All right. And then stepping to the top of your mat, hands into heart center. You'll bend into your right knee and then step your left foot to the back of the mat, coming into warrior one. Arms come up into a V, your hips are facing forward, and your right knee is just about over the heel, pointed over the second toe. And there's an angle to the back foot at about 45 degrees, heels down. Making sure that the shoulders are relaxed down the back so they're not up towards the ears. And we'll open up into warrior two. The hips face the side. You're still lunging into the front knee. Arms out into a T, shoulders dropping. So you're gazing over your right fingertips. You might look behind you and make sure that your back arm is even with your front arm. Sometimes it could be a little bit down. And we'll start to move a little with the breath. Feel free to have fun with it if you want to be a little bit more in flow or wiggly. So as you inhale, flipping the palms and bringing the palms together, straightening the front leg. As you exhale, lowering back down, lunging into the knee, and the whole time keeping head over heart over the hips. Inhale back up. Exhale, lower. One more time. And we'll reverse our warrior. Flipping the front palm, the back hand comes down the back leg as you reach towards the back of the room. Keeping the lunge to the front knee. So inhale, come up and into side angle pose. Your forearm comes towards your knee. Your left arm is reaching towards where the ceiling and the wall meet. Your one long line from your fingertips all the way out to the edge of your back foot. Inhale, reverse your warrior. Full breath here. Next time you come up, inhaling, taking it into side angle. Full breath. Inhale. Inhale. And then step to the top of the mat. Big breath. And I'm just going to change the side of the mat I'm on so when we do the other side, I can still see you. So from here, again, bending into the left knee this time, stepping back into warrior one. And opening into warrior two. Noticing any little adjustments you might want to make. Inhaling to lift the palms, straighten the front leg. Exhale, lower back down. Two more times at your own breath pace. And then reverse your warrior. Staying there for a full breath, and each time you're moving, it's on an inhale. So coming back up, and then into side angle. Inhale up. One more round. Come back up, step forward, big breath. Coming into a standing balancing pose here. We're going to set up for tree. If you want to be near a wall for this, or if you want to have a chair in front of you to hold on to, you're always welcome to do that. And some people have more success staying on the mat, others coming off onto it and having a better grip on the floor. So just noticing what feels best for you. I'll start by rooting into the right foot, really feeling that contact with the ground, the tripod of the foot at the base of the big toe, pinky toe, and the heel. And then eventually bringing the left foot to the inside of the leg. So that might be keeping the ball of the foot on the ground, just resting the heel towards the inside of the leg, or it might be bringing it up further, wherever you'd like. Find something in front of you to meet your eyes at that's not moving, to give you a little stability, and feel like your standing leg is pushing into the foot just as much as the foot is pushing into it. Feeling into all those different dimensions that we mentioned in our seat before. So you feel really connected to the core of your body. And if you'd like, raising the arms up. They might stay together or separate the palms, keeping the palms facing towards each other. My little pro tip is anytime I start feeling wobbly, for whatever reason, if I wiggle my fingers, it stabilizes me a little bit more. So if you want to have fun with that, you can. Or just laughing at yourself. It always makes it a little less serious. Having one more breath here. Hands come down through center. Release the foot, shake it out, do your little yoga dance. And we'll take it to the other side. So rooting back down now through your left foot. And really imagining that roots are growing out of your foot and into the ground. That'll be just as wide as the branches of the arms that you create. Feeling everything rising up from that point. Taking it where you'd like. Knowing even the trees, nature outside your home sway in the wind a little bit. So embracing any wobbles, it's all just strengthening the muscle fibers in your foot and around your ankle and in your leg. One more breath. Hands come back down through heart center. Release the foot, shake it out. All right. And then from the back of the mat again, you'll inhale, circle the arms up high. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, come up halfway. And as you exhale, walk the hands out into downward facing dog. Or if you like to have a vinyasa flow in your practice, this would be a good place for it. You paddle the heels, do anything that feels good for you here. And then soften down onto the knees. Lower onto the back. Bring the feet about hip width distance apart and the heels pretty close to your seat so that you could touch them with your fingertips
the backs of the heels, that is. And then start to roll the shoulders underneath the back. You can either press the palms down into the ground to lift the hips into the back bend, or you can interlace the fingers underneath your seat. And you're squeezing your glute muscles together, engaging the tops and the insides of the thighs, and really pushing down to the heels of the feet to lift you. You might even be able to observe your breath as your chest moves along with it. One more breath. And then start to slowly roll the spine back down. Hug the knees into the chest and rock from side to side. The left foot comes down onto the mat and the right ankle crosses over the knee, keeping the foot flexed. So as you have this rotation in the hip, that's exactly where you want it to stay. So it's not twisting through the knee, and that's protected by the flexing of the foot. And you can either stay here if this feels like a deep enough stretch for you. If you want it to feel a little deeper, you can thread your right arm through between the space in the legs to catch the back of the left thigh or the front of the left shin, gently drawing the knee in towards the chest. And if your elbow is accessible to the inside of your right thigh, you can even gently push it even more open. One more breath here. Left foot comes back down to the mat. Uncross the right foot. Hug the knees into the chest. And roll all the way over to the left, keeping your knees up. And then start to open the chest towards the ceiling. And look over the right shoulder. So you're always welcome to bring a pillow or a block or something underneath the legs if they don't quite make it to the ground. It's completely okay. You can use your left hand to rest on the legs as well. Take one more breath here. Then bring the right arm all the way back over to the left so that the palms meet. And taking another deep breath, just resetting the spine here. All right, and we'll take it to the other side. So rolling this time all the way over to the right. Open the arms up and look over the left shoulder.
One more breath. Left arm comes back over to meet the right. Big breath there. Roll back onto the spine. And take happy baby pose. So it's bringing the knees wide in towards the underarms. You can catch the outer edges, the feet, or the back of the legs, wherever it feels most accessible to you. You'll rock from side to side. And take any other movement or posture that you might like to take before we come into the end of the practice, into our final resting pose. You'll eventually lie down onto the ground. So for Shavasana, you'll have the feet about mat-width distance apart. The arms are low along the sides of the body with the palms facing up towards the ceiling. But again, if there's a place that's more comfortable for you to be, you can always come back into your seat of meditation. You can bring a pillow underneath the knees that can feel nice for the back, or you can rest the hands on the belly or the heart. You can stay in lying down. I'm just going to come to my own seat to talk you through a little bit more. So as you're lying there, feeling like you're making effort, that you're letting yourself find no separation between you and the ground underneath you. And there's a heaviness to you, like you're just a bag of sand sinking into the ground. The eyes close or soften completely. And you're starting to feel each layer of yourself melting into the next. And the skin softens into the muscles and the tissues of the body. And the muscles melt into the bones. And the bones sink deeply into the ground to be held there. You might start to feel this wave, or imagine this wave that starts at the bottoms of the heels, moves up the whole back of the body, over the top of the head and washing down the front of the body all the way out to the toes. And every time this wave cycles, it's taking away any stale energy, any stress, any pain or tension, to let you just melt deeper and deeper into openness. And from here, we'll hear and feel into our last aria of the evening. Just letting yourself be completely open to receiving that experience.
Mein Sehnen, mein Wehnen, es träumt sich zurück, im Tanze gewann ich, verlor ich mein Glück, im Tanze am Rhein, beim Mondenschein, wir standen
Slowly starting to bring awareness back into your body. Taking the deepest inhale you've taken all day in through the nose. Sigh it out through the mouth. And do that 2 more times, continuing to filter the energy of the body through the breath. Start to wiggle into fingers and toes, wrists and ankles. Rolling the head from side to side on the ground. Stretch the arms long overhead and point out to the toes, making yourself as long as possible. And then hug the knees into the chest, giving yourself a great big hug of gratitude for making it here, joining us this evening, doing something really loving for yourself. And slowly rolling off onto your side and coming up into your comfortable seat of meditation. We'll just take a few moments here to rest in silence. Maybe tracing the breath up and down the length of your spine. And bringing hands into heart center. We'll end in the sound of Om, giving our own sound vibrational offering, just as we were gifted from our artist. So exhaling out completely. Deep inhale. All right. Namaste. Thank you all so much for being here with us this evening. Thank you so much to Cincinnati Center Stage for having me and for the artists who contributed tonight. And I'm going to go ahead and hand it back over to Miss Candace to finish us up for the evening. Thank you.
Thank you all so much for joining us this evening. We have a link available in the chat if you would like to give a suggested $5 donation or more to help us cover the cost of opera and yoga and other center stage programming. Many thanks to Suzie for leading us tonight, to our artists, Simon and Kseniia, for sharing your talents with us, and a special thank you to Matt Iona and Findlay Yoga for being our wonderful partners. May this beautiful practice carry serenity and peace into the remainder of your evening. Namaste.
Mm-hmm.